Alright, I thought I'd do a quick walk around of our 1966 250 SE Coupe W111. I just think that is one of the best looking angles of any Mercedes of the modern era. This is a light ivory car is the color, 670 color code. Sort of an off-white. There's also a 673, which they also call light ivory, which is more of a light yellow color. This is definitely just a bit of an off-white. It's parked in the shade, a little bit of dappled light, which I generally try to avoid when doing photos, but I think it works here. It's a pretty nice car. Not a perfect car, but a nice driver that's had a lot of love and money thrown at it of late. You can read all about the work that was done at Jamie Kopczynski's shop, Classic Workshop in Hackettstown, New Jersey, late last year. The receipts are in the photos. Love the 250 hubcap and trim rings as opposed to the single piece hubcaps you had on later 280 models. We have a largely original interior in here, cognac. The dash has been redone, but the seats are original and still certainly very serviceable. Looks like Zebrano wood to me. The original Becker stereo is in place, however, there's no amplifier under the dash, as you can see, and therefore the stereo does not work. Very nice original headliner. That little light above the rearview mirror works. And this is kind of a fun detail about 250 SEs as well as some earlier 250 SLs and 230 SLs. Instead of this switch moving the entire mirror, it just moves the mirror within that chrome frame for nighttime driving, and it's just one of the coolest things to see how that works. Instead of actually just having a rubber ring around your mirror like in a 280 SL and you flip this and the whole mirror moves, this is just the mirror within this big heavy chrome frame moving. Pretty cool detail in Mercedes cars. And it looks like our clock is working. I set it just a few minutes ago when it was 3:17 when I was doing the previous video. Couple cracks on our white wheel. Nothing crazy. Manual transmission, of course. Really nice original door panels. And again, my photos show all the seals around the various windows, condition of the chrome. Rear bumpers are real nice. Got a little pitting in some of the chrome around the car. A little bit of pitting on that trunk handle. A couple little just environmental paint damage areas. Here's one. This is actually on the surface of the paint. I can't tell what that is, if it's tar or something. It could probably be rubbed off there. Again, you can have a look at the photos of the trunk. There's a brand new trunk mat. I took photos of the trunk mat, pulled away so you can see what the original trunk floor looks like on this car. I did photos of the lights, high beams, low beams, turn signals and things. Those are all, the functions of those have been shown either at the end of the driving video or in the photos. That's the 1966 250 SE Coupe. All right, welcome. I'm just going to do a quick little walkthrough of a couple of the interior items on this 1966 250 SE Coupe, where I'm on a busy roundabout here, so we'll have guys in their Harleys and good old boys in pickup trucks going by occasionally. It might get loud, but wanted to mention just a few things. Whenever I'm representing a car, you can generally assume that unless I tell you it doesn't work, it does work. So we can work through a couple of the items here. You can see the tach as I get on the gas going up and down. Our gauges work here: fuel, oil pressure, and water temperature. Odometer works, speedometer works. I think you saw that in the driving video. But one of the things that's nice about this car is that the heater core, the heater and heater cores, like, it's all been gone through. The heater cores were rebuilt in Minneapolis before the car was shipped out to me. All the heater stuff came in a box, still out of the car. And once it got to me, I shipped the car down to my friend Jamie Kopczynski at Classic Workshop in Hackettstown, New Jersey. And if you're not familiar with Jamie or his shop, you should be, as a classic Mercedes owner or enthusiast, because I think that he's probably the best place for vintage Mercedes like this on the East Coast, certainly one of the best. So he put the heater, he put the rebuilt heater cores back in, he installed and tested them. You can have a look at his receipt that is in the photos in the auction. This portion of his receipt was a little over $3,000. He polished the heater valves and bores, adjusted all the control cables, and you can see, you know, these are the original, they look to be the original black plastic heater levers that came in this car when new. They look original to me. They're not broken off, and they slide really nicely now that Jamie has worked his magic on these levers. So it's very common that these plastic levers on any Mercedes, really from the 60s and early 70s, lots of SLs have these broken off. As a matter of fact, I just sold, 2 weeks ago, I sold a 280 SL with heater levers that were broken off. So it's really nice that this is all set. They're easy to adjust, and the heater works like a charm. And we can fire up I don't love having the heater on because it's 80 degrees out today, but I can feel it already, and I haven't even had the car running for that long. So I'm gonna turn off the fan. But the heater levers are great. The heater cores are rebuilt. In addition, a couple of the other things that Jamie did to the car, he put a new blower switch in. It's listed as a used part, but he replaced the blower switch that was in the car. He also put engine mounts and transmission mounts in the car, among other things. But look at that whole invoice to see what he did, if you'd like. One of the nice things about this car, and I think I mentioned it, I just turned on the right turn signal. The turn signal stalk stays up and it cancels when you make a turn. This car also has power steering, which is nice. So it cancels, and same with the left turn, it'll hold, come back and cancel. Again, something that is super common in these cars that just doesn't work anymore. You've got to push it back up manually. It's always nice to see when the glove box light works. I'm not sure if you can see that on the GoPro, but I think I took a picture of that. And also up here, not sure if this is in the frame for that one, but this one also works. So pretty cool stuff. The radio does not work because there's no amplifier, so that's going to need to be rehooked up. Another thing about this car, the interior, the seats and the upholstery, the door panels are original to the car. The dash, however, has been redone. This is new cognac material here, new cognac leather. So the whole dash has all been restored, but your seats and the door panels are original. It looks like the tops of the doors to me have been redone. But what's nice is in a 250 and a 220 SE Coupe, you've got more wood in here than you do in the 280s. This is a wood binnacle on the 250. In the 280s later, the later cars, I think there were some transitional early 280s that had wooden binnacles, if I'm not mistaken, but eventually they went to the much easier to manufacture leather covered. The clock, I thought the clock worked in this car. I think I hear it working, but it's possible that it doesn't. I guess we can set it and come back and see. I think it's funny kind of how everybody really wants to make sure the clock works, like they're just buying a watch that has 4 wheels and a motor, but I'll set it here and I'll come back to it in a couple hours and see how we're doing, but we'll let that go. The cigarette lighter, I put a phone charger in there and it wasn't charging my phone, but a lot of times that's because of the charger piece that I'm putting in there just isn't built for such a big opening as you have in an old car like this. So I just pushed in the lighter and we'll see if that gets warm. But otherwise, you know, it's up to you to put your windows up manually as well as your vent windows here. I think you can probably see that opening up. I always have been a huge fan of vent windows. My first car was a Volkswagen Beetle convertible, and I used the vent windows a lot, mostly in the winter time to keep the windshield cold so it wouldn't fog up. I used to open both sides and cold air would blow to keep it cold. But that's pretty much it for the interior. Here's our horn. That's nice. So that's our sort of interior walk around, if you will.